Good morning and welcome along to day 2 of 21 questions in a jar, all things delegation. I'm just going to dive straight in and choose our topic for today. I'm rummaging right to the bottom, see what we've got here. It's like doing a lucky dip. Okay, what is this question? Fold it up like little origami. What do I do with the time I free up? And what if I feel lost without the busyness? What do I do with the time that I free up? And what if I feel lost without the busyness? Okay, so I don't know if you're anything like most of my clients, but I think you will not actually have a problem with this. I think sometimes we have this worry about if we delegate the kind of busy work, does that mean that we're no longer busy? No, I can fairly certainly predict it doesn't mean that you're not going to be busy. What it does mean, hopefully, if we're doing this well, and if you've got a team that's got enough capacity for the volume of work that's coming through your team and area of responsibility, what it hopefully does mean is you will free up some of your thinking time. So one of the big kind of threshold moments that managers and leaders need to go through is delegating in the first place, like really learning how to do this cleanly and with appropriate accountability. The second part of that, though, there are a few intersecting parts, but one of the other parts, or the other kind of developmental thresholds, is reclaiming or claiming in the first place, if you haven't had it before, your leadership bandwidth. And this is having time to think and slow down and do some of those more, air quotes, like strategic things that you might have been putting off. Because some of the reason that people hold on to the detail of things and actually prefer not to delegate is because it's protecting you from having to do the complex, riskier, potentially bigger, more frightening things that are really, truly part of your responsibility at a more senior level, but where you're kind of productively procrastinating and avoiding having to do those bigger, more psychologically risky items, keeping out of complexity and all of that by sticking with the things that you've done in a previous role or a previous version of your role, and staying in the detail, staying in what's comfortable, staying with things that you know how to do. So even though you have a part of your mind and consciousness that's like, but I'm not supposed to be doing these things, you keep getting suckered back there because it's comfortable and psychologically easier to do than to delegate those things and then really step into tackling the big, audacious, hairy problems and projects and developmental work that you really ought to be doing at this level. So let me just check if I answered the question. What do I do with the time I free up? So firstly, I would encourage you not to rush to fill it. Let yourself regulate down a little bit from that kind of stress mode. Put in some time where you can have some white space on your calendar. So if you start delegating, don't quickly rush to fill up all of that time, because don't forget, part of good delegating is also having time to come back and do the accountability conversations. So it might be that in the first instance, actually delegating might take up slightly more of your time because you're potentially training people in how to do whatever it is you're delegating to them, and holding those accountability conversations, making sure that you're troubleshooting before things go wrong with them, not for them. And what if I feel lost without the busyness? Well, yeah, you might do. And this is a sort of nervous system and subconscious mind team up where it can then cause you to feel really tired, might cause you to feel a bit anxious. It might cause you to feel like something's wrong. You might get a cold. All of these kind of responses are like your subconscious going, but it's not safe for us to not be really overwhelmingly busy all of the time. And so what we want to do is really reassure and soothe your system and your subconscious mind. Remind yourself that actually you are safe if you're not super busy. And that as a person progressing, as a manager and as a leader, actually you need to be able to regulate your system down a little bit so that you have access to all of your executive functions, so your problem solving, your critical thinking, your communication, your empathy, all of that stuff. All of those capacities live outside of your stress response. So we need to help your body and your subconscious to understand that it's safe for you to not be so busy so that you can have full access to all of those functions. And then in due course, get to some of those bigger, more scary feeling, complex issues that maybe have been on the back burner that you've been beating yourself up about, thinking, well, I really should get to that and I don't know why I'm not doing it. Well, probably because it feels really risky and you're kind of worried about tackling those things or not knowing where to start. If you have that experience, please do sign up to Strategy Hour. It's every Monday during term time at 9:30, and it's a really good way to start breaking down some of those things. So it's kind of a hybrid of a few different approaches. One part of it is kind of gathering together all of your to-do list items for the week, a bit of sorting through what really is mine, what should I be delegating, and also breaking down some of those items on your list that maybe you haven't been approaching or that feel a bit risky, breaking those down into smaller steps that feel more approachable. It's completely free. You just sign up once and then you can join any week. I take school holidays. We'll probably do some over the summer, but I usually take the half terms and Easter break and stuff off. But join that any Monday during term time and we'll make sure that you kind of hit the week running. Speaking of which, I have to go because I've got a strategy hour call starting in a few minutes. All right, take good care. I'll be back tomorrow with day 3 of 21 topics in a jar, the delegation edition. All right, take good care. Bye.